Welcome everybody, welcome. This is a reading for basically success after a setback, eclipse in Sagittarius growth. So we're going to look at this from the way of how this reading is going to go. This is going to be basically from approximately May 13th to the May 18th of 2024. So this is going to be a very reading that I'm going to do, and this is how it seems to be. I know that this is going to be a very uptight situation and how it goes, but this is how it seems to be. I will look at the past, the present, the future, and see what's happening, and this is how it goes, because in theory this is based on how it seems to be, right? Because you look at it, you look at how everything is to go, and everything has to be all, understanding and how it seems to be, and this is how it goes, right? Because this is a way of how you can understand it and how it seems to be, because I know for a fact that we understand that this is how it seems to be and understand how it goes, because this is a wonderful feeling, right? And that feeling where everything has to be a wonderful feeling, and you understand that, right? Because there's, like I say, there's always two sides to different story here, right? So you see what happens, and this is how it goes, and this is how it seems to be. So this is how it's going to be, and we're going to look at your past, your present, and your future situation, and see what's going on, and see what's bothering you, and how it is. So basically, for the understanding of how it goes, this is how it seems to be, and this is a way of how it seems to be. Okay, so let's go. So we have the moon that's reversed, the strength that is reversed, and the 10 of swords reversed. Yeah, see, you have your own way of, the misinterpretation. There's could be something that you don't have no strength left, but there are things that you're trying to remember and trying to understand it, because this is a good way of how it seems to be, right? Because you have that moment, you have that desire, you have everything else, right? And you have to look at it, right? So I'm going to look at it to see how it goes, because I want to clarify these three cards. So you have the sun card because you have upright, because it means that you have the sunshine and everything else. Then you have the 10 of wands is upright, so you could be dealing with another Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. And you have the Knight of Pentacles is upright because you have victory on your side. So I understand that there are things that you're trying to remember and trying to discover, and it's a very how it is, but there is always a way of how it is. This is not a illusion or anything else, but you have to remember that you have to maintain your society, you maintain how you're working and how everything else, right? And you see how it is, right? Because you have to look at it from a different way, right? So let's see. So we have the Knight of Coins is upright, and you have the King of Coins is upright. Yeah, so you could be, you're like a working person, because you're going to be working a lot. You know how everything is, right? Because this is how it seems to be, right? Because you think that everything is good and everything is all, how it is. But this is how it seems to be, because, working is a very good way of knowing, right? And this is how it seems to be, right? Let's see. So this was the past, but you're still working on your working. The present situation right now is like you're working. You might be with a kid, you might not, but there's always something that was going on. And then you have the future, means that you have victory on your side. So this is how it seems to be, because you have to look at it from a different way. Let's see. Let's see what the future is going to say. The Chariot, that's reversed. Okay. Is there anything else that I can think of for that card? The Four of Swords is upright. Yeah, recuperation. Yeah, because you're going to recuperate. Because you could be dealing with another Gemini, Libra, Aquarius in some way, somehow. So there are things that you're trying to remember, trying to discover, trying to figure out who's doing this to you and what's happening. Because you're trying to figure out that there could be a fear factor in one way or another. So let's see. The Three of Wands is reversed. Yeah, it means that you don't have very much communication right now, but eventually you could be in one way or another, because it's like you already know what's happening. You know how your standards are, your way of how you can do it, because normally is like you're looking at it from a different way. If you have communication, you know how it is. If you don't have communication, well, what's the point, right? So if you see it as a wonderful feeling, you know how it is. You have to look at it from a different way. You have to see it. You have to have a give and take situation. There are things that you're trying to remember and trying to discover, and this is how it is. It's like an uptight situation, right? Because you know how it is, you know how it seems to be, and you have to know how everything is one way or another, right? Because this is how it seems to be. Because in other words, you have to put it into perspective. Know that you can do it. Know that you can plan your own ways and know how to do it. Because in reality, you have to know what's happening, because there are 5 W's that I'm going to say is who, what, where, when, why, and sometimes how in that situation, right? Because you look at it from a different way. You look at it from a time frame. You look at how everything is going to go, right? This is how it is. It's like a timepiece. You have to know exactly from the start, the middle, and end. You have the morning, the afternoon, the evening. And it goes, right? So it's like you have that 24 hours of knowing what's going to happen next, because you look at your past, you look at your present, you look at your future at the same time, right? And you have to know exactly if you're doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing. And by other chance of this whole entire reading, this is how it goes, because you have to know that this is a huge reading. This is a huge, monologue of how it goes, right? Because you have to know exactly the basics. You know how it is. You know how you can do whatever you want to do. You just have to put it into perspective, because process is a process, and you have to know that. It's the way of how you can do it. It's like if you're a fan of something, and if you're not a fan of something, there's something that you like and sometimes you don't like, So this is the way of how it goes. It's like you have to see it for as long as it needs to. It's like connecting the dots. You know how you connect the dots when you were a kid, and you have a pencil and you draw, and and to connect the dots, when you see it as a picture, and then it reveals like a scissors as the picture, but you have to connect the dots in order to see the scissors of the picture, what I mean, right? So that's how it goes. You have to look at it from a different way of knowing what to do, It's the way of how everything is. It's the way of how this is how it seems to be, because you have to look at it from a different way. You have to know exactly, right? Because this is an opportunity to understand that. So we're almost done with this reading. But this is how it seems to be, because you have to know how it is, right? So I want to clarify this card over here. So let's see. The Six of Swords is upright, means movement. Yeah, because you're going to have movement. movement is a way of how it is, and this is how it seems to be. Because in order to do that, in order to believe on what you're looking for, it's the way of how you can do that, right? It's the way of how you can satisfy and understand that. It's the way of how everything goes. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, something like that. But this is how it is, and this reading is very good. It's the way of how everything is. It's the way of how everything is going to go. Because in other words, you have to remember that this is a way of how it seems to be, right? Because weeks go by, months go by, days go by, weekends go by, whatever it is, right? And everything is going to go fast. You have to look at it, because this is what it seems to be. And the reading that I have for you, so Sagittarius, you understand that how it goes, because like I say, it's like this is a way of putting things into perspective, right? And this is how it goes. If you think positive, you think positive. If you think negative, it's a different way, right? Because this is how it goes. Because in other words, you have to know exactly what it seems to be, knowing that this is a way of how it seems to be, right? Because this is how it goes. So we're almost done with this reading. So you can see it as a wonderful feeling. You understand how it goes. You understand how it seems to be, right? Because this is how it is, right? So I want to see it as this. See, the Page of Swords is upright. Yeah, see, this is why. Because you're dealing with another Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Oh yeah, the 8 Cups is upright. Yeah, because you know exactly what you're going to be doing. You know that you can be an entertainer person, so you understand how it goes. It's the way of how you can look at it from a different way. What else I want to say? Let's see. Yeah, Page of Pentacles reversed, so there's no prospects. Interesting. And you have the Hermit that's reversed, means there's no solitude. So you already found your soulmate, I can tell. So I understand that way of how it goes. This is how it seems to be. I want to clarify that card. The Knight of Pentacles that's reversed. Okay. Is there anything else that represents that? Is there anything else? The Three of Coins is upright. Yeah, so you could be dealing with money in some way and somehow. That's interesting for it. I'm not going to blame you, but this is how it seems to be. What else? The Four of Swords reversed. Yeah, because you're not taking a recuperation, because you already know how it was, right? So this is good so far. But is there anything else that I can think of? Tell me one more. The Six of Wands is upright, means achievement. Yeah, see, you could be dealing with another Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. So, this is how it is. It's like, how it goes. You know how it seems to be, because, in other words, this is a way of pure affection. It's the way of how it goes, right? You have to know exactly what's going to happen. And this is how it seems to be. It's the way of you can do it. It's the way of how you can understand it. It's the way of how you can see it. Because, in other words, it's the way of how you can do whatever you decide to do. Only you have to do that. Because you have to remember that you have to believe on what you're going to do, and you have to understand that. Because there's always a two side of this whole entire story here. But you look at it, it's like, if you do what you can and understand that you have your own reality and your own way of how it is, this is what it seems to be. Because you have to know that this is like a given situation where I'm giving you this information, and you have to understand it very clearly. Because in order to do something, you have to reflect on your own ability to know right and wrong, and you have to know about that, right? So this is how it seems to be. So before I let you go, pay attention to understand about this. Pay attention about how it's going to go, how it's going to be, how is it going to be, because you have to see it in order to believe it, and you have to know that, because the universe is saying that you already achieved something. You already know that you have movement and recuperation and everything else, right? And you have to know that. But this is what it seems to be. So I'm going to say what the universe is going to say, and this is how it's going to go, and then this is going to be the end of the reading, okay? So let's see what the universe is saying. Let's see. So the universe is saying you have the Ace of Swords is upright because you have a new beginning. Followed by, you have the world that's reversed, means incompletion. And you have the sun that's upright because you're in light, in the light, not in darkness. So you can understand that. But I'm going to clarify this world card because I want to see it how it is. From the universe. Let's see. The word that's upright means completion. So you were incomplete with something. Now you're going to complete something. Okay, so this is what I have for you. I hope this reading helps you, Sagittarius. Understand that this is a wonderful feeling. Understand how it goes, because in theory, this is what it seems to be. This is a motivation way of how to look at it from a different way, right? Because you put something into perspective, you know what you're going to do, you know what it seems to be, you know how it is, and this is what I have for you. So I hope that this reading helps you. Give it a like, give it a comment, and understand how it goes, because this is what I have for you. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye for now. Really.